Yeah, growing up, I had never had a job necessarily. I always chose to work for myself. So whether that was walking neighbors' dogs or detailing cars or something, I always wanted to just work for myself. And so you do that enough times and you pick up a few tricks along the way of how to get more efficient or grow it into not just detailing a couple cars in the neighborhood, but how are you detailing cars all across the city. Beyond that, it was, time to go to college and everything like that. So I go to college and I wanted to do something, and I was in the entrepreneurship program, and I saw someone go past me on an electric skateboard that I most definitely couldn't afford, and I thought to myself, well, I surely could figure this out. So it first started off with just an electric skateboard for myself, and I did that at a price that was about a quarter of the price that it was for one of these other boards, and that was like, whoa, like there's an opportunity here, and it just tapped into my previous experiences of kind of seeing a gap and an opportunity to create a business around it and then just chasing right after it. So that is kind of the start of my introduction to hub motor technology and urban transportation.
Judy and I, my wife and I were riding bikes together a lot, and so I'm riding my 1971 Schwinn Continental Canary Yellow, which I still have, but my wife was having a little hard time, keeping up, and so Levi's involved with skateboards, and I kept saying, can you develop a bike for us? I mean, I was helping him build these skateboards, and I tried riding them several times, and literally almost broke my neck, and it's like, everybody knows how to ride a bike, right? So why aren't we doing bikes rather than skateboards? And eventually got it through his head that we need to transition. And that was huge, because then the first bikes that we got, I was able to get one to my wife, and now we could go riding together, and it just kind of revolutionized our world, right? Because now we were out back again, enjoying the community and our, the parks in the area, and so that was kind of the genesis of how this came about. I know part of it was Levi and I talking about electric bikes, and Levi said, I got this friend Robbie that is thinking about getting into bikes as well, and you guys were kind of talking, and Levi and I were kind of talking, and I said to Levi, I said, well, why don't we just have Robbie join us and we'll all do it together? And Robbie had this incredible skill set that we didn't have, right? Which is, he's smart. And, he had the engineering background.
Yeah.
And that was huge. And so that was the beginning of it, I think. And then you made a call to Robbie and said, hey, we got a proposal.
Yeah, I mean, we had mutual friends in different neighborhoods, whatever. We actually never went to school together, though, which is kind of the funny thing.
We live close together.
We live close together. We just never attended the same school. So yeah, 15 minutes apart or whatever. But yeah, we actually met originally. This was like probably 6th grade, I don't know, playing Call of Duty or something on Xbox Live. Yeah, we were in the same neighborhood friend group. So then we started playing soccer and doing whatever, and we were friends all through our formative years. And then he came down and went to school in Phoenix down here, and I stayed up in Minneapolis and went to the University of Minnesota, and we just stayed friends. And then yeah, I remember one of the first times I visited was he was doing the skateboards. Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe I could give some sort of business a shot. So I had never really considered that a possibility for myself. So then I started coming up with all my own, bad ideas for businesses, and then bouncing them off Levi because he had this experience going. And then, like you said, you were also hitting them with ideas from the other side, and then it just all worked out that we could come together and collaborate on this.
The LX is our greatest failure, a complete disaster, and an embarrassment of our...
Probably the greatest failure in electric bike history.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
No. Well, and it's funny because now like other companies are coming out with this style of bike, but it was, maybe we were just ahead of our time on it. No, it's a bad bike. But so the problem is like we were so zeroed in because Brent really wanted an e-bike. So we spend all this time working on it and we create the LX, which you see there. And Rob and I first try it and we are in love. And it's like, man, it's gonna be so fun zipping around the city and it's gonna be incredible. And we get our first 100 bikes produced and it's an absolute disaster. We couldn't sell a bike to save our lives, and we couldn't even sell a bike to you and Mom.
No.
You guys were like, yeah, I'm more interested to see what you guys come up with next. And it's like, dude, you just helped us make this thing.
I was the one that loved the bike because it was similar to my Continental.
That's true.
This is a great bike for 1971, right?
Yeah.
And that's what so when I came out, it was like, I kind of like the style of it, but when I rode it, I didn't like the ride on it. And then it still didn't work for Mom, right?
Right.
So
and that was a mistake, is that all three of us are roughly the same height, and it wasn't very adjustable. The same, so it was.
And
like,
you're leaning forward.
And who we originally were told to design for was you and Mom and whatever. And we ride it, and turns out nobody really even likes it outside of Robbie and myself, and that goes for the whole customer, base, the whole e-bike market. Did not like it at all either, because we tried to sell these on Craigslist. We had our own storefront online. We were spending money on ads. We were doing everything we possibly could to sell these bikes, and we couldn't do it. People would come by for a test ride and everything like that. Say, it's okay, but I want it more comfortable, or I want it to be, able to be transported. Needs more power, needs more range, and all these things. And so we just, for months, it was a very demoralizing period because Robbie had moved out to Arizona to work on this project, and he actually has a run rate. I will never forget him showing me his Excel spreadsheet of like, this is how much I spend per day. This includes my toiletries and everything. And it's like, by this time, I'm out of toothpaste and I'm out of money and I'm out of this state.
Almost, yeah.
Right? So he was like, we have until then to get this locked in. And
wasn't it that I'll call it the flea market in Phoenix that kind of changed everything? That's how I view it, is that flea market experience where customers came and you had a lot of contact with them, and they looked at the bike and they talked about, hey, I've got hips, I've got problems, and we started to realize our customers were not like us, right? Necessarily.
Especially that, where it was days on end at this garden show, and everybody was telling us why they didn't like the bike. And it was just, I'll never forget working so hard to really gain nothing out of it, right? Because we were doing 10 hours every day at this thing, and we did not sell a single bike the whole time we were there. It was crazy.
But it's probably, in retrospect, the best, most profitable time we've had, because that's where we really listened to customers and we said, hey, we created something that we like. Hey, we have an idea. Why don't we create something that they like, right? And that was to me, the pivotal moment was at that garden fair, flea market, whatever it was. We had that tent up where we started hearing from people, and they're the ones that really created the bike. I mean, Robbie did all the work and design, but they gave us the idea.
There was no shortage of ideas and feedback. They really didn't like this LX.
No, I think you're exactly right. I think we had to fail in order to succeed. I don't think if we do the LX and it's a horrible disaster, I don't think we have this success at all, because we never would have gotten that feedback, and that's, I think you guys were pushing hard for us to accelerate the timeline on, releasing the bike, right? And I, being the engineer, I'm kind of like, whoa, guys, like let's pull the brakes a little bit here. But I think that it ended up working out, because if we don't come out with it when we do get that feedback that was super crucial and critical for designing the next version of the product, we probably wouldn't be sitting here today.
And I think that was the genesis of our focus on customer experience. To be honest with you, is like, we listened to our customers and we just saw how valuable their feedback was. And it was like, hey, so when we started creating a bike that worked for them, we realized, hey, let's listen to our customers, because they're going to tell us what they want.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done since the beginning.